Given the grim headlines about Foxconn in recent years, you might wonder why anyone would ever want to work there. But as our exclusive look reveals, China has very different values when it comes to gainful employment. Monday morning at the Foxconn Recruiting Center. And over 3,000 people have been lined up since the wee hours, all desperate to work for Apple's biggest supplier. Why do you want to work here? I heard the work is hard here, says this 18-year-old, but I want to get some experience. I ask another if she's heard about the notorious suicides at Foxconn.
Does that worry you? Does that scare you?
I don't think it has very much to do with the company, she says. They wait in a patient mass, hoping to land a starting salary of the promised $1.78 an hour. Unless they work 47 overtime hours a month, the Chinese government will consider them too poor to withdraw any taxes. But to this crowd, that doesn't seem to matter. Desire trumps discipline.
It's a stampede.
And ignoring police whistles, they rush the gates, eager to wave a national ID card across an electronic reader. Those who hear the satisfying beep are sent in. Those with bogus IDs are silently turned away. The demand for iPhones and other electronics is so high, Foxconn will hire 80% of these people today. Good news to those who travel all night by bus and are ready to move in. After 3 days of training, what Foxconn calls team building, the new hires will be sitting on a production line.
So this is home.
And many of them will pay $17.50 a month to move into a dorm like this with 7 strangers. To get a sense of how this compares to their homes, we travel to a village outside the industrial town of Chengdu, where a single family might live in a room like this.
Oh, that's your heat. Oh, I see.
Though they have heard of Foxconn, they've never seen an iPad before.
So this is what they make at Foxconn. It's called an iPad.
And since the young people left to work in the factories, they say everything is better.
So you eat better, you have better clothes, more to do?
Yes, they say. Everything.
Wow.
Meanwhile, back in the Apple lines in Shenzhen, the Fair Labor Association audit continues.
You know, people are really pushing this stuff out.
Apple paid $250,000 to join this group, and Apple is paying for this audit, making critics worry about a conflict of interest. But Arette van Heerden of the FLA insists that when they publish this report, any whitewash will be obvious.
What are you looking for? With behavior, traits, physical characteristics, what?
Definitely. One of them is, will they look up even? You know, we come in here, we're outsiders, we're obviously an object of curiosity. And I want to know, can they express that curiosity? Can they steal a glance? I go into facilities where people won't look up, and they're really, really intimidated.
I'm Bill.
Since Apple encouraged us to approach anyone on their lines, we did.
What goes through your mind when you do the same thing all day like this?
We met people on and off the factory complex.
Did you move to here for this job? Or
on and off the record.
You can be honest.
And it became quickly obvious that a strange American with a camera crew only gets so much candor.
So if there was one thing that you could change about your job here, what would it be?
But plenty of people like Zhang Ruhua had no problem telling me that the dorms are too crowded and the trees block the sunshine and the food prices are too high. We heard the kind of complaints you'd hear at any factory or college campus. And even though wages have doubled since the suicide nets went up, most everyone complained about low pay. But in China, other than complaining, there's very little they can do about it. Right now, American-style unions don't exist here, but Louis Wu admits in the next few years they could take hold, and that would be major news. Because when 150 non-Apple Foxconn workers had demands in January, they went up to a factory roof and threatened to jump.
What happened?
Well, I think first of all, it's not because of pay. It's part of the negotiation process. But I'm very happy that everything was resolved.
A sobering kind of collective bargaining right there.
Yes, absolutely.
If Apple came to you and said, out of the goodness of our heart, because we're doing so well, we want to pay everyone who touches an iPad double. Could you do that?
Why not? That would be good for the employees, right? And also definitely good for China, and definitely good for us, because we will have more stable workers who would love to work for, our company, because they will get paid a lot more than anyone else.